The Utes have ridden their depth off to a 3-0 start. More injuries than they can count, including their QB1. Could Utah survive shorthanded once again, this time to open up conference play? UCLA in town for homecoming. You see Cam Rising there in street clothes for a 4th consecutive game, which means a reliance on their defense. UCLA's 5-star quarterback Dante Moore, when Kareni Reed makes a 5-star play, midair snare and 21-yard return 12 seconds into the game. Not much offense by Red, but Nate Johnson does find Jalen Glover there to move the chains. Then Johnson with a slide right. Landon King, the Auburn transfer's first catch in Ute Red, is a touchdown. 14-0 at the half. Half two, all defense. Morgan Scalley's guys about as suffocating as you can get. Swallows up the run right there, then forcing Moore to let go of one. Teo Johnson has it. The Bruins did get a late touchdown, but game ball goes to the D. 14-7 to stay perfect on the year.
The Utes have ridden their depth off to a 3-0 start. More injuries than they can count, including their quarterback. Could Utah survive shorthanded once again, this time to open up conference play? U of U and UCLA players exchange greetings. A spectacular catch by Ren Adams. You can see him and his teammates celebrating. Riley Jenke makes a rolling reception from the 30-yard line. And an amazing catch. An amazing catch by Evan Thompson, leading to a touchdown. The defense finishes and leads out the game to be 14-7.
The Utes have ridden their depth off to an A3 and O start. More injuries than they can count, including their QB1. Could Utah survive shorthanded once again, this time to open up conference play? U of U and UCLA players exchange greetings. A spectacular catch by Ren Adams. You can see him and his teammates celebrating. Riley Jenke makes a rolling reception from the 30-yard line. An amazing catch by Evan Thompson, which leads to the touchdown. The defense finishes and leads out the game to be 14-7.
So you're Kelly and you're Bob. So if this is Bob, it's you. If this is Kelly, it's you.
So we'll be able to see like what the video's doing too, and
like highlighted right over top.
Cool.
Why am I nervous?
My hands are like sweaty and
Morgan, I'm nervous up here.
We're reporting this
from
to like
Utah's
3 people.
news leader. Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Evans.
Oh, and I'm Kelly Chapman. Today was the National Day of Remembrance for homicide victims, friends, families, and advocates of murder victims gathered at the state capitol to remember those killed here in Utah.
Fox 13 News reporter Emily Tenser was there for tonight's candlelight vigil. She joins us live from Utah's Capitol Hill. Emily. Just into the Fox 13 newsroom, a 14-year-old Uinta County girl is dead after an ATV accident. The sheriff's office says it happened at about 2:20 p.m. near 6500 East, 6750 South in an unincorporated part of Uinta County. The 14-year-old girl from Jensen was driving westbound in a side-by-side when it went off the shoulder of the roadway and onto its side, killing her. The cause of the accident is still under investigation.
Get out of my face.
You spit on her? You spit on him?
The woman was caught on video spitting on and hitting the mayor of Quorum after last week's city council meeting. Has now been charged. Lenia Pugmire confronted Mayor David Young after he disagreed with her mother's reporting in the Daily Herald newspaper. During the city council meeting, Pugmire now faces charges of disorderly conduct, assault, threatening elected officials, and propelling bodily substances at the person. More than 20 buildings owned by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints were burglarized last week. Nearly
all the buildings are in Harriman.
Sorry, Bob.
Police say that's all right, Kelly. The break-ins damaged some of the buildings, but the only item of value stolen was a television. Members of the church reported the burglaries, so police say it's hard to determine when each break-in occurred, since authorities have to rely on who was last in the building. So far, investigators say they have no leads on a suspect. A man who was driving under the influence of prescription drugs last winter and badly injured a 17-year-old girl in Taylorsville has learned his fate. On December 4th of last year, Maddie and Spencer Anderson were on their way home from country swing dance class when they were hit by another car. Maddie had numerous broken bones and a traumatic brain injury. That's so bad, I'm sorry. I messed up. It's negatively affected her social life and academics at Murray High School. Today she got to address 40-year-old John Charles Williams of American Fork in court during his sentence hearing.
I've been through more than any 17-year-old girl should have to go through. And I will continue to go through these things that most people won't have to deal with for the rest of my life because he made his choice to drive under the influence.
It's really hard to hear that I put her through this and her family and such a young lady. Like it's terrible for me to hear that I did that. I know I can't take it back. I don't know how to make amends or how to make this right. I really wish I could.
Judge Heather Brereton sentenced Williams to a suspended sentence of 0 to 5 years in the Utah State Prison, provided he completes 36 months of probation. He was also sentenced to a year in jail, but he's credited with 296 days he's already served.
The Center for Disease Control and Prevention has recommended the first respiratory virus for the RSV vaccine for pregnant women to protect their newborns for the illness. According to the CDC, RSV is the leading cause of hospitalization for U.S. infants. Last month, the FDA approved the Pfizer maternal vaccination that guards babies against severe cases from birth to 6 months old. The recommended window for women to get the vaccine is during weeks 32 through 36 of pregnancy.
It lowers the risk of severe disease from RSV among infants by 91%, roughly for the first 3 months after birth. And then around 6 months, the efficacy still is around 77%. So that's a good long protection after birth once the mother receives it during pregnancy.
We still going?
All right, we can stop. You got an idea?
We're killing
that
it. That was hard.
My hands are like super sweaty.